Just do it! Just watch Sam Wilson. And stay strong. Before 6 a.m. tomorrow, I'll probably do them way before then, but 6 a.m. is my deadline. And these are going to be the 5 stories about my 5 different races. They're all going to be separate videos, so you don't have to stick around through one video. If you want to watch one video, take a break, then watch another one. Feel free to do that. So, yeah, make sure you do watch all these videos through. I'm doing 5 different videos for the stories of how the day played out from the 5 different races that I've been to. And if I get all of these videos done before 11, I just might, tell the day about when Kyle Busch won the championship. And Chester has not been a pleasant little angel. Look what he did to me. This was not even in the vlog. I'm sorry that it wasn't in the vlog, but I ended the vlog early so I could get it edited, everything, so I could start these videos, because I'm doing 5 videos tonight. But anyway, this first one is about the 2011 Lenox Industrial Tools 301. In this race, it took place on July 17th, 2011. I was still in Vermont. I don't exactly want to say which part of Vermont it was, but it's pretty close to the New Hampshire border. And this was our first race that I had been to. The first race that my mom had been to since 2000, the Busch race in 2000. Yeah, it was still called the Busch Series. The Xfinity Series race back in 2000 at Charlotte, which she brought my half-brother Drew, who was in Virginia Beach. Hi, Drew, if you're watching this video. You probably aren't, but hi if you are. And so we had not had a bunch of knowledge about, I mean, we knew, like, tickets, yeah, all that stuff. But, yeah, we didn't really know what we were really going into. And I want to say that the luxury is that the first 3 races that I've ever been to, we did not have to buy the tickets. Now you're like, Sam, well, that doesn't really affect you because you wouldn't be buying the tickets anyway. Well, it kind of does affect me, because if no one else bought the tickets, then we wouldn't have gone for the first 3 races. So for the first race that we went to, this race that I'm talking about right now, my mom's friend, Christina, from work, she worked at a hospital over near the Hanover area. I'll say it's Dartmouth Hitchcock Medical Center. Her friend, Christina, who was her friend, and then after a little bit, was not her friend, had given us tickets. Now a week flashback in that time. I was in summer school that year. My dad said it wasn't because of any bad grades or anything, but let's be real, it was because of bad grades. And what was I gonna say? So right before I'd gone, my mom had walked right into the door, and because she worked nights, she would sleep during the day and then work at night. So she walked right in the door. I was about to leave. She was like, "Oh my God, I'm so glad that you have not left yet." And I'm like, "Why?" And then she pulled tickets out of her purse. Now, at that time, it didn't really register to me yet, but she pulled out 4 tickets. We only used 3 of them, but she pulled 4 tickets out of her purse. She was like, "You, me, and Olivia are going to Loudon in like 7 days." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I don't know if this was before the Kentucky race or after the Kentucky race, but I remember being pretty excited because Kyle Busch had won at Kentucky. But yeah, then time went by, and then this was the week that Harry Potter had came out, so everybody was already excited. We had went to go see Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2, in theaters the day before. Now, this doesn't have much to do with this story, but, my sleep schedule is not right around that time. Like, there was a week time from the Kentucky race to the Loudon race that I was not doing too good on my sleep schedule. Now, remember, I'm still, like, 9 years old, so now staying up till 3 a.m. is not that big of a deal, but back then, if you stay up till 3 a.m., you're like a sloth walking around, like, not even knowing what you're doing. So it's like, I mean, I wasn't up till 3 a.m., but I was up, I mean, like, 10 o'clock to 11:30 is, like, pretty late back then. Not good times to stay up. But, I did. I don't know why. So, my sleep schedule was off. So, during the Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 2 movie that we were watching, I slept through most of the movie. I remember going into the theaters at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, coming out at like 6 o'clock. Remember it being so fast because I was just sleeping. I remember seeing the beginning and the end. I don't even remember seeing the end. I watched the end on the TV because we have them now on our TV. But I don't remember watching the end. I remember there being something weird going on in the beginning. Then remembering, well, you know who, not He Who Must Not Be Named. Oh yeah, I do remember that. But in the beginning, you know who died at the end of the last movie. If you haven't seen it, I'm not gonna ruin it for you. Don't worry. So anyway, on to the Loudon day. We got home like it was like 7 o'clock the night before the race, and my friend Camden was actually at the Xfinity race the day before, where Kyle Busch, who is his favorite and my favorite, won the race. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, so actually we had left the key inside the door that night. So it was like, well, if anyone wanted to rob us, which let me be perfectly honest, where we were living right there was not the safest place in no means. There was I don't want to say the exact motel's name, but there was a motel that lived right next to us. It was like our house and then this big motel, which a bunch of people like crazy on drugs or smoking or crazy drinkers or whatever, we're always partying till like 5 a.m. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but yeah, pretty crazy people. I don't want to say that, but you know what I'm saying. So it didn't seem too safe of an area, but somehow the people that had lived there before us had lived there for 12 years and never had any problems. But anyway, so we had gotten up the next morning. It was like 7:30 when we got up. We packed up the coolers. Did we even have coolers that day, or did we just not bring them? Yeah, I don't even think we were that prepared. I don't even think we bought coolers. I think we bought them at the concession stands. But yeah, so we didn't even pack the coolers. We packed nice warm clothes because it was a hot, hot day. I'm not even kidding. I was there and it was so hot. Not as hot as a 2013 summer race, but we'll get to that in a few hours. But yeah, it was really hot. And so I wore like, I actually remember I wore my Red Sox shirt. I'm a Red Sox fan, and yes, I live in Syracuse, and I'm a Red Sox fan. Which is kind of against humanity, but oh well. My friend Jeter wore his Yankee shirt around the Yawkey Way and almost died. So, shout out to Jeter for being that brave, but no shout out to you for being a Yankees fan. Jeter's pretty cool, but how cool can you be? I mean, you're a Yankees fan, but none about baseball. I remember wearing my Red Sox shirt to the racetrack that day, And I was like, I can't wear this all day. And my mom was like, yeah, you're right. It was like 9 o'clock by the time we left the house. It was like 11 o'clock by the time we arrived at the track. I remember there was so much traffic. So much traffic. I remember looking back at the traffic like this. And I was just like, oh my god, that's a lot of traffic. Like you could just see, like, you could look back and like, with the mix of like those, I don't know what you call them, but they're like those little squirrely things that you see when it's like so hot. But yeah, you could see those, and then you could see like a bunch of sun shining on like those silver cars going all the way back for like miles, and they look just so small and everything. There had to be at least like 90,000. Okay, that's an over exaggeration, but at that time there had to be like 20,000 cars that I could see behind me, which is just insane. But yeah. Anyway, when we got to the track, we had sat in traffic for about an hour. We got into the track and it was like 11 o'clock. We missed driver introductions. I just think we walked around and just missed them. We weren't late for them. We just didn't see them, which kind of sucked. But, so I think we walked around. We got some, me, my mom, and Olivia went to the race. So we walked around and, we just looked around at some of the concession stands. We got some cars, some toy cars. I actually think we got those after the race, but we got a shirt, which is actually, if you've seen some of my vlogs, I don't want to mess with my camera right now. Oh, whatever, I will. This shirt right here, we had got at that race. And I had worn it, and so I'd worn that day, and I remember I was getting cotton candy and ice cream before the race. Remember we didn't have too good of seats, but we were in turn 3. I actually remember my exact seat. Turn 3, row 32, seat 9. I don't remember exactly what section it was, but yeah. Turn 3, row 32, seat 9. So we did not have too good of seats, but it was still pretty fun. Now I was like expecting Kyle Busch to just win. I mean, I didn't expect him to win that day, but I expected him to be not too bad. I think I expected Clint Boyer to win that day because the last race at New Hampshire, back in the fall of 2010, Clint Boyer had won. But I expect Kyle Busch to do good, obviously, because, I mean, I'm the biggest fan there. But then, I was just like, it was like lap 40 or something, and then he had hit the wall, and right in front of me too, and it was like Jimmy Johnson, who now is Olivia's favorite, but back then wasn't. Okay, I gotta be completely honest. Going into that race, Olivia's favorite driver, wait for this. You know, I'm just gonna make you guys wait a little longer. I'm just gonna sit here and make you guys wait for who her favorite driver was that day, because you're just gonna be shocked.
2 hours later.
Her favorite driver was Joe Nemechek coming into that race. And I obviously hated on him. I don't know why, but I did. I think it was because back in like 3rd grade, I was going into 3rd grade, but I was in 2nd grade the last time I'd seen my friends. Oh no, I was in 3rd grade going into 4th grade. So yeah, 3rd grade. My friends were hating on, 2 of my friends were hating on not Kyle Busch. One of them was hating on Kyle Busch, but They were hating on Joe Nemechek, and I was like, why not go along with the crowd, because I was the kind of person that I was back then. So I hated on Joe Nemechek. So Olivia was like, oh, he needs a little love. So she's like, I'm gonna root for him. I'm like, I don't know why you do that. But there was like no like Joe Nemechek concession stand, obviously. So she got a Carl Edwards shirt, a Tony Stewart hat, and I think looked at Jimmy Johnson a lot. But yeah, now her favorite driver is Jimmy Johnson. Her favorite driver spitting out my favorite driver right in front of me at my first NASCAR race is not fun. And I just remember looking.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
And I was not too happy about it. So, I told my friends that I had rolled down the grandstands, but I didn't. He didn't believe me though, so good for him. But I remember the rest of the race was still pretty fun, but it was kind of a bum. Back then, I did not like Brad Keselowski, but my mom always teased me about it, so I teased her about liking Robbie Gordon, because she hated Robbie Gordon. And she loved Dale Jr., so I teased her about he hasn't won since Michigan 2008. He hasn't won since Michigan 2008, and Kyle Busch won the 2009 Xfinity Series Championship and won last week at Kentucky. So, and then over the next few years, I would tease her about saying that Dale Jr. We were watching races, and I was like, Dale Jr. is gonna finish 79th in points. And I actually remember one race, I think it was like Charlotte or something, that we were watching, and she was like, okay, you say that one more time, I'm turning the TV off. And I obviously thought she was kidding. So I said it again, and she's like, okay, we're turning the TV off. And I was like, no, no, no. And she's like, okay, then don't say it again. I'm not even kidding. So she posted something on Twitter about it. Anyway, back to the race that we're actually talking about. Brad Keselowski had wrecked in that race. So my mom was like, oh, no, don't cry, it's okay. And I just looked at her like, are you kidding me? And she's like, oh, it's okay, Sam, don't cry. And I'm like, and then like the next lap around, I was like, oh, hey, look at there, it's Robbie Gordon. And she like looks at me like, are you kidding me? I also remember that day, because remember I hated on Joe Nemechek. So when he was driving around the track, I laughed at him. So yeah, I remember doing that. Because he was coming around the track to go to the garage because he was a certain park guy. I'm glad that they don't have to start park guys anymore, but they used to. But yeah. So as time went by, David Stremme, on some lap, I don't even remember when, blew up. He blew his engine coming into turn 3, and I remember the smoke went all the way up to my seat, and I was coughing like, But I remember it was like, this is the best experience of my life. Little did I know I'd go to 4 more races, which were probably 3 of them were a lot better than that. But yeah. So, after time went by, was there a late restart? I'm not sure. But then it was coming down to the 2 Stewart-Haas guys. Was this one of those races, like every New Hampshire race, where somebody runs out of fuel? I'm not sure. But then, yeah, one of the Stewart-Haas guys, they were 1-2, and then Ryan Newman came and won the race. Which is perfectly fair because the 2011 fall race, which I didn't go to, Tony Stewart won. So, yeah. But, so then we were like, after the race, we were searching for our car for 2 hours. We were searching for our car for 2 hours. It was almost dark by the time we had left there. I remember we were going, because that's like a desert area. It really is. Like, you're walking through that place and it's like a desert. Yeah, it gets really cold in the fall there, but like, it looks like a desert in the summer. So we were like walking up mountains. We said we were like mountain climbing. We were going through twigs or whatever they were called from Harry Potter or whatever. We almost got stuck in them. I think we even sat on our butts and like rolled down on our butts. Oh no, wait, no. This next part's like 2 years into the future, the 2-year race in the future. But yeah, so, and I remember, this is back in the time where it's like, we were 9 years old, Olivia was like 7 years old, at that time. So it was like bad words were like not a thing. And, we heard people like, right in front of us while we were walking to our car, "I'm going to kick your," and like, Olivia was like, "Ah!" And I was like, oh my god. And then the whole next 2 weeks, I was telling everybody about how, oh yeah, that guy said the A word, but he actually said the word. And they were like, oh my god. Yeah, once we finally got to our car, my mom was like so stressed out. We can turn back time to the good old days, something so stressed out. Yeah, that's stressed out. But me and my sister were not being a help at all. My mom had told us to be quiet, and we were like, okay. And then Olivia started singing this little song. Sometimes you're a jerk, and you know it, know it, know it. You just don't want to admit it, admit it, admit it. And I was like, and we were just making our mom so mad. And then, after a little time went by, we were still had to be quiet. And she just yelled, no, she whispered it, but we were like, tickle, 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 tickle. And we were like 9 years old and 7 years old, just like laughing, giggling. Let's be more precise here. Giggling. That's the word back then. Giggling. So I think we got to McDonald's at like 8 o'clock. We ate McDonald's, went the rest of the way home. But I remember us listening to like, what's her face? I'm not sure. I'm not even sure. It's like a girl singer that my mom really liked. That's really gonna bother me now. Oh my god, who was that? Dixie Chicks. Yeah, that's who it was. We were listening to Dixie Chicks on the ride home. Now I realize how inappropriate that name is. But I'm 13, so I gotta be immature about it. So we rode the rest of the way home, and I remember while you were listening to that song, or one of the songs, it was like, my mom was like, welcome to middle of nowhere, New Hampshire, where you are literally in the middle of nowhere. And which is true, because you are literally in the middle of nowhere. But we got back home, we went to bed, and we all lived happily ever after. Now I just want to clarify something. Where we lived in Vermont was like so close to the border of New Hampshire. There was like nothing near us that was in Vermont. We lived like, I remember we would take walks like 1 mile away from the border of New Hampshire. We went into New Hampshire every single day. Like, you know how you go into town to go shopping? Our town was in a different state. But it was like no different from anything else. Like, we technically lived in New Hampshire. But yeah. So anyway, guys, I want to just say thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed my story. I'm going to be making 4 more tonight. I hope you enjoyed this video. I want you guys to stay strong.